This is what the Russian world, or the Russian peace as they called it, looks like.
У мене стара хата була. I am Zarina Zabrisky and I am talking to you.
This is an air raid siren. We are in Uman at Pushkin Street. You see the Ukrainian flags in the background. This is the street. I don't see anybody's going for a bomb shelter. So I'm wearing this really bizarre head dress, not for fashion purposes, but because I am currently at Pushkin Street in Uman in the midst of celebrating Hasidic New Year's. And what you see behind me are the people who are celebrating it right now. They came from all around the world, mainly from Israel. Some are from New York, some are actually local from here, from Ukraine. Not much freedom of movement for women journalists, leave alone women. I'm a journalist and I have my accreditation, so I was lucky enough to get on the list and get a very kind Ukrainian policeman who escorted me around with a big gun to protect me from anger that might ensue at me being here. But this is, as he explained to me, their ways, their religion. Strangely enough, these are my ancestors' religion. My ancestors are from the town of Uman. Probably observed something similar, but since then the family has evolved differently, I should say, so I don't know very much about it. The reason they are here is because very close to where I stand is the entrance to the grave of Tzaddik Nachman, who is, as I'm explained, basically a Jewish saint. And if you get to visit his grave, he will gracefully from up above pray for you to go into heaven and to have a really good afterlife. I have been to that grave during my first visit to Uman. I didn't pray, but I was there, so supposedly I'm also blessed now.
First of all, I would like to say that happy new Jewish New Year's, Hag Sameach, and I wish for all Jewish community and all the world that thank you that you come here, because this all the people, they pray for Ukraine, pray for our military, pray for everyone. It's very, very big blessing for us. I am head of NGO organization Megan Ukraine. Megan Ukraine, it's a very special organization. During last 20 years, we prepare communicators. They completely know Halacha, it's Jewish law. They know Hebrew, also they know English and Ukrainian languages. So we have super high level communication between Jewish community and our government and local and security service of Ukraine. The second part of our organization is security. I am an instructor of shooting, anti-sabotage, Sturm. Before I came here to prepare the local territory defense forces, we completely every day by day we training. My opinion was, and also still, I have everything will be good. I said everything will be good. We tax it on big Jewish community. Please we have special rules because during 6 months we have a war in Ukraine. We have a curfew in Ukraine. It's from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. Yes. Also about drinking. My experience said, and also my teacher said me before, listen, if you do something, please do this with love, with the heart. We have some fear. Putin and also whole Russia, they said, you look, Ukrainian is Nazi. And Hasbe Shalom, God forbid that some sabotage will be, Hasbe Shalom. It's make the someone can make the video and then share in the version, and Russian also said, look, I said it's Nazi, yes, but I never see Nazi, I'm Jewish, you know.
I met Joseph at this really nice restaurant with amazing hummus that he made.
Oh my God, this is so spicy. This is unbelievably good and unbelievably spicy.
And I'm going to ask Joseph a couple of questions.
You don't feel like there are neo-Nazis walking down the street.
No, there is neo-Nazi everywhere, even in Israel.
How is that possible?
It's possible. It's possible.
I'm happy that these people come here because everyone pray for Ukraine, pray for peace, for shalom. Really, it's my opinion that all solutions we can feel inside. I mean, we have the questions, but we need to receive answers. We have victory, but we need to receive.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава, героям слава.
Shana Tov.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Как вы относитесь к празднованию?
Я отношусь очень положительно. Люди верующие, должно быть, у людей должно быть Бог в душе. Тогда бы мир на земле был. Они приехали сюда, они паломники. У них здесь есть человек похороненный, который для них святое. И вот они приезжают сюда каждый год. Мне кажется, что это просто удивительно, что люди свою веру не меняют, что они столько веков верят в то, что есть, что у них есть в душе, наверное.
Most of the citizens in Uman are friendly. There is not many that are not friendly. Only you can see there's no anti-Semitism on the street. Slava Bogu za Ukraina. Thanks God for Ukraine.
I'm Zarina Zabrisky reporting from Uman. Happy New Year! Shana Tova!
Hi, Alexander. We're really looking forward to hearing from you about the recent developments in Russia and Ukraine. This time in Russia, because it's important everywhere. My first question is, what does a partial mobilization in Russia mean for Ukraine? Do you think there is 1 million people to be mobilized in point 7 that is confidential? Will there be uniforms and equipment enough for all these people who are just being mobilized now? And will they use World War II weapons?
Hi, Zarina. Partial mobilization in Russia is Putin's shame. Putin was afraid to call the war a war and called it a special military operation. And now Putin, short of troops, has announced a full mobilization, but called it a partial mobilization. What is it, if not cowardice and political weakness? When you do not find the straight to call everything by its proper name. Besides, if in Russia they constantly say that everything is going according to plan, and Sergei Shoigu claims amazing minimal losses in the war, less than 6,000 Russian troops. Why? Why mobilize 300,000? The Russian army is now unable to close, put on shoes, feed, and provide everything necessary for 3,000 military men. 1,000,000, all the more, it's unrealistic. Therefore, the quality of their equipment raises questions for me. Will there be the Second World War samples? Yes, because in June we saw D-20 howitzer in the combat zone of the Russians. After the Second World War, this howitzer replaced the ML-20 howitzer in the Soviet Army. I'm sure we will soon see the ML-20 too.
We planned to leave for Germany, but we had to urgently leave for Turkey. We just had to rush a lot. And it was difficult from the financial point of view. Ticket prices soared in the first hour after Putin's speech. For many who had an unclear position on the war, it took several days, 2 days, for example, to even think about whether they were leaving or not leaving. Many did not consider the possibility of leaving at all. And many only noticed that something was going wrong when they were personally affected by the mobilization. Many of those who flee have exactly the same political sentiments. They just don't want to go to war. So as they were thinking, prices for all kinds of transportation skyrocketed. Prices for the plane, after 3 hours, only one ticket was left for that day to Dubai for 500,000 rubles, $90,000. Mobilization notices were brought to everyone, doors were broken, even the outside doors, to deliver these mobilization notices. I had a post on my feed on Facebook. One woman received a mobilization notice for her dead brother. It was an absolute panic. All this time, since we came here, I'm helping people online, monitoring traffic and roads and so on. Lots of activists are involved in helping as well. There are two sides to this story. On the one hand, we see the unification of Russia. But which Russia, really? 300,000 people left. It is only a part of Russia. At least in this respect, we see absolute solidarity. On the other hand, there is indeed panic, at least in the early days. Then everyone realized that it was pointless to panic and you just had to run away in any way possible. These self-help chats I run only handle practical issues, not political ones. I still think that the majority of Russians support the war, just like before they were skipping the compulsory military service while yelling glory to Putin. Nothing has changed for them, as if everyday life has become a little more complicated. Well, for many probably it is different, and for many it would be the time to review everything that is happening. I also think that those who have long planned their departure are urgently leaving right now. After all, it's not that easy. Russia is a very impoverished country, and it's quite problematic to escape from it for financial reasons. There are still those who ride in their cars with the Z's on them and Z's on their sweaters. Practically no one would be detained at the border or sent back. Border control officers can also have their own opinion. As a volunteer, I coordinate people remotely, helping with the situation at the border and possible destination. Currently, I have 3 friends there and my brother. According to them, very different people, including those who simply do not want to go to war, are there. Before that, they didn't seem to care. This is on the border with Kazakhstan. I've been volunteering for the 3rd day by now. This border point is not far from Samara. There are 3 of them, Mashtakova, Zinki, and Tepla, and they are located it side by side. The lines for Mashtakova are 50-60 kilometers. It's a car queue. According to the various estimates, there are about 1,000 to 2,000 people standing in lines, and people didn't sleep for 2 or 3 days, didn't eat. There are no toilets. It's really cold. And they called this morning and said that they couldn't stand on their feet anymore. And the people at the border let everybody in, and very few people are not allowed to exit. And this is mainly due, as I understand it, to their debts. Now, there are simply no volunteering organizations, and I do this all work by myself. I'm the first generation in our family born in Moscow, and I am a Ukrainian Belarusian with Jewish roots. Since February 24th, I have been following everything that was happening, so I fully understand the situation right now and how Ukrainians feel about it. The truth is, the truth belongs to Ukrainians. I have been in the protest movement in Russia since 2012. You see, in Russia, in principle, we have a real disaster right now. Europe would have definitely called this situation a disaster 2 days ago. It's embarrassing for me to call this a catastrophe, though, or disaster, because Russians are now standing on the border, cursing at each other, reporting on each other. My brother is trying to take some videos, and the people who standing right by him, some hooligans, are trying to hit him. As for me, I work with people who only have an anti-war position. Moreover, I do not personally know a single person who supports the war. I know that my friends know such people, but personally, I don't communicate with them. All the people in my environment do not support the war. My social circle is very large, and these are all people who have a tough anti-war position. What is your forecast regarding the referenda? How fake it is, and how will Putin use it to his advantages?
These referendums have absolutely no legal force. This is a fake, not some kind of deal. But Putin needs every fact of this ridiculous in order for his propaganda to use the justification of war. We will tell the people who want to leave Russia, live in these areas, and many Russians will believe in this lie for a long time to come.
And now a very important question that certainly concerns many around the world. Will Putin use nuclear weapon as he promised?
I'm sure that nuclear weapons will not be applicable. The very fact the Kremlin used nuclear weapons against a non-nuclear country in a conventional war, then nothing threatens the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Russia itself, destroys the open, legitimate, and covert system of nuclear deterrence and security that still exists in the world. Putin is too cowardly to take such steps. He's afraid to call war a war, but here we are talking about a system of nuclear deterrence.
Well, thank you very much for your forecast and opinion. I'm sure it will be of great interest to our audience, and we're looking forward to speaking to you soon about everything that is happening now. Thank you, Alexander.
Скажи, что бы ты сказал Путину?
Вот так вот.
For the next episode, please join us for a tour of the newly liberated areas around the city of Kharkov through the streets of this beautiful city and a visit to a very unusual animal shelter.
Reporting from Kharkov, I'm Zarina Zabrisky.